as Prime Minister Modi is about to land there, and importantly, as we see, the Israeli Prime Minister and his wife are set to welcome Prime Minister Modi as he disembarks. Shivani, do tell us, I was speaking to Aishwarya also about this, there is warmth as far as the relationship of the two leaders is concerned. And we've seen a significant change in terms of the two countries' relationship because of the two individuals also. And this personal welcome that Prime Minister Netanyahu is according to Prime Minister Modi, and it is always reciprocated also. So why is it important?
Anjali, it's very important because, Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, has been saying that PM is not only a diplomatic counterpart, but a personal friend to him. The kind of gesture Israel is welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi when Prime Minister Netanyahu will be along with his wife to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We've seen these world leaders traveling together in a single car. They've been sharing these ties more than the diplomatic ties. So it means a lot. It means how the world's perception towards India has been changing in the past few years. How India happens to be one of the important leaders of the global south, important voice of the global south, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been speaking to the Prime Minister of Israel since the conflict has been on. India has been a very strong voice of solidarity for Israel, and so is Israel for India. Be it the Pahalgam attack, be it the 26/11 terror attack. Since then, Israel has been voicing its concerns on the terrorism that India has been fighting since decades now, Anjali. So it's all the more important that it's not only a diplomatic visit, it is much more than that, because the body language, the kind of statements that have been exchanged by the Israeli Prime Minister for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, they mean a lot. They mean that India is being perceived as a strong voice of the global south, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi happens to be a very strong leader, and he's been welcomed as a special gesture in Israel by the Prime Minister out there. He'll be meeting the president also. He'll be meeting the Indians in Israel. He will be addressing the parliament for the first time, the Knesset there in Jerusalem. He'll be holding key meetings. So all this shows that India is being valued as a strong partner, a strong leader of the global south, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be meeting multiple leaders out there to discuss not only economics, but also defense, security, intelligence sharing, and people-to-people ties between India and Israel. Anjali.
Absolutely. And as we see these visuals coming in and the grand welcome that we were talking about, the warm welcome that is expected to be given to Prime Minister Modi is set to happen as the Prime Minister of Israel has already arrived at the airport. But also importantly, as Shivani, you were just mentioning, that Prime Minister Modi will be addressing Knesset, which is the Israeli parliament. And we have recently seen some very senior leaders doing the same, Trump was there a few days back where he addressed the Knesset. But this would be the first time that an Indian Prime Minister is doing so. So can you tell us the importance of it in terms of also the prestige value attached to it, and also how it brings to fore the deep relationship that is developing between the two countries?
Anjali, see, when we see Donald Trump speaking in Israeli Knesset, it has a different a meaning and a value. But when Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks there, he happens to be the first Indian Prime Minister or the first Indian leader, in fact, a leader for the first time from Asia, who is speaking in the Israeli Knesset. It means a lot, certainly. It shows that how Israel has been valuing India and its strategic partnership. It has been valuing the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been speaking to Israeli Prime Minister. He's been exchanging statements. He's been in touch with the Israeli Prime Minister, not only right now when it comes to the defense ties and strategic ties, but also remember last year when there was a conflict between Iran and Israel. India was in constant touch with Israel, and it was in full support of Israel. And that's why whenever the Israeli Prime Minister speaks about Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he speaks with great reverence and with great value. And when he will be speaking in the Israeli parliament, it will be a great message to the world that how India's stature is growing when it comes to be a very strong voice of the global south, when it comes to be in the role of a peacemaker. Remember, Anjali, India has always called for peace. It has always called for a peaceful resolution and dialogues when it comes to the disputes that have been seen in the world, the conflicts that have been ongoing between Israel and Iran. So, when Prime Minister will be speaking in the Knesset, certainly it will be a larger meaning, it will be a larger message, and it cannot be compared to what Donald
Right,
Trump speaks in the Knesset.
Shivani,
So, certainly
I'll
this is
just interrupt you a little bit over here because we are getting visuals of Netanyahu there with his wife. As we can hear that the preparations of the welcome have already begun.
המשמר יחטיף את נשקו. החטף, שקט.
So there on your screens, as the Prime Minister of Israel and his wife have arrived at the international airport, awaiting the arrival of the Prime Minister of India. He is set to disembark and a warm welcome is to be accorded to him. And there on your screens right now, the door set to open as Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi begins his visit to Israel, a landmark and historic visit after the 2017 visit that he had gone for almost 9 years. Later, he's once again there to visit Israel and to work on several agendas, whether it is defense, whether it is diplomatic relations, whether it is the field of research, science, agriculture. The Prime Minister is there to meet the Israeli Prime Minister for bilateral talks, and also there is a whole agenda that has been developed for the Prime Minister. And in just a few moments, we can expect the Indian Prime Minister to disembark, as already Prime Minister Netanyahu and his wife are there on the tarmac to welcome India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And this visit marks a historic event, which is going to be an address that is going to be delivered by the Indian Prime Minister to the Israeli parliament, which is called the Knesset. Apart from that, Prime Minister Modi will also be visiting Israel's Holocaust Museum, where he will pay his respects and lay a wreath in the Hall of Remembrance. He shall also be meeting up with the President of Israel. A packed agenda, a packed timetable for the Indian Prime Minister as he undertakes a historic visit to Israel. And